Bill Scorta, Florida Bass Paddler, in episode 2 of my 3-part series on the Old Town Discovery 119 Solo Sportsman. This is going to be the review as well as how I have it rigged. Stay tuned. So forgive me if I'm speaking a little loud in the video. It tracks really well. This boat does not come with a rudder, nor is there a built-in skeg, but it tracks really well. Very little side-to-side motion in the front. It also has really nice speed. So for a boat that's under 12 feet, the speed is surprisingly fast for a smaller boat. Because of its shorter stature, of course, being 11 feet 9 inches, this boat turns on a dime. And I absolutely love that when I'm in skinnier water. And that's one of the reasons why I really enjoy paddling this boat and some of the canals down near me. But how about the inside? Is there enough room on the inside for an angler and some gear in such a shorter boat? Let's take a look. So here's a look at the inside of the cockpit as I'm sitting in here now. As you can see, there's lots of room. The foot braces on this kayak are very easily adjustable, as you can see here. Standard pedals, as you see on some of their other kayak versions. You have the thwart bar here with the gear track, and I'll go over my accessories later in the rigging. One thing I'll point out as far as room goes, I say I'm 5'8". My wife says I'm 5'7". My driver's license says somewhere in the middle. I don't know. You see my feet are a little close to the thwart there. If you're someone who's, say, 6 feet or taller, I would advise you to try to demo one of these boats to make sure your feet are going to go under there comfortably. You want to make sure that, you know, your feet aren't hitting the thwart. You're not too bent at the knees. So this is something to keep in mind here. Over here on this side, you have your chair adjustment there. There's a cleat here with this ball here. You can pull it up, just recline it a little bit, locks in place just like that. Real simple. As we mentioned earlier, this is for your seat adjustment here. The seat can go back in a slightly reclined position here, and all you have to do is pull on this as far as you want the backrest to go to make sure you're comfortable, and it locks in place. Here's a shot of the seat, nice and low, contoured. You have a cup holder there, which is great for beverages or bluegill. On the side of each seat, you have these armrests here that are nice and soft. They're like almost, I don't want to say memory foam, almost like a thick EVA, nice and comfortable to rest your arms on. You have this little pocket here to throw a lure in when you're changing out. This portion here, this is actually made for a couple things. If you're a duck hunter, those are great for shotgun shells. You can fit 2 in each one, or you can actually use it for tools like so. However, these will be in your way here when you're paddling, so just keep that in mind. And then you have these openings here. These are great for your rods when you're retying or taking a fish off your lure, like so. Just again, keep in mind that you can't paddle with the rod there. That will get in your way. But again, if you're taking a fish off or retying, it's a nice little easy way for you to put your rod somewhere close by and keep it out of your way. Here you're looking at the tank wall of the canoe. Again, lots of room for gear. You have a solid handle here in the rear as well as one in the front. The rear thwart has 2 flush mount rod holders, slightly angled, but easily accessible from the seat. So the thwart is made of wood, so it's nice and solid. It's not some cheap plastic, so really well made. As I said, in the rear of the kayak, plenty of room for bags. Here I have a waterproof bag with my tackle, and of course my trusty cooler for my cold water and sodas. Fit easily in the tank well behind the seat with plenty of room to spare if you want to bring wheels, or you can always go a different route. You can go the route of a crate. As you can see, fits nicely in between the indentations on the rear thwart. Help keep your items off the bottom in case they're not waterproof. And then you can always use a triple rod holder on a crate or something along those lines to allow you to bring more rods if you so choose to do so. So let's get into the rigging aspect of how I have this boat set up. I have my Yak Gadget storage tote up here, simply held on by two Velcro straps here. This is good for keeping little personal items. I have my wallet and keys in there. I have some extra liter in there. I also keep a sponge in case I get any water in the boat. Again, you have to keep in mind that this is a canoe. It is not a kayak, or it's a hybrid. There are no scuppers, so water can get in this kayak. So again, you want to have something for those just in case moments if you're not planning on being in weather, but some rolls in and you get some water inside, or if you somehow take some water over the bow due to another waking boat or something, you have something to help you drain the water. You can also get one of those hand pumps if you want, but I keep a sponge there. It's within reach in case of an emergency. As far as the front thwart with the track system, again, great for your slide track accessories, whatever brand you may use. These particular accessories are from Yak Attack. I have a Zuka Tube 2 here on an extension arm here. I believe that's the 8-inch extension. That's just somewhere for me to rest the rod when I'm moving from one area to another. And it also gives me the ability to take a third rod out with me on the canoe. In addition, I have a Yak Attack tie down here. Why I have that for is because I have that for my Rogue tether that helps me secure my paddle to the boat. So if it does come off the side or off one of the the paddle holders, it's safely tethered to the boat and I don't have to worry about going anywhere. And finally, over here I have my camera that I can lift up, swing out for those hero shots, like so. And then it just swivels back into place in the front where it's not getting in the way too much. So this kayak does not come with a paddle rest. And I've gotten away from drilling into boats. I just don't like doing it anymore. So I made a couple of adjustments onto this one. First and foremost, you can see my paddles resting across the cockpit area here, which would be across my legs. However, what I did was I installed one of these on each side. These are just rubber rounded feet with an adhesive on the bottom. I cleaned it off with alcohol, put these on there. These were actually made for a CPU tower so it doesn't slip and slide. These will go onto the bottom of like your home computer tower, keeps it from sliding and moving and helps keep it off the surface of wherever you're putting it. I put one on each side and it gives me a nice area to rest my paddle without it really moving too much. Because if you don't have something like this and it's windy out, your paddle will slide up and down the sides here. Now, as I mentioned, there's no paddle holder on this. So what I did was, in order to not drill into the kayak, I removed the screw from each thwart. Underneath is your locking nut, a washer, as well as a plastic cap. I removed the screw that held on the thwart onto the one side. I removed the T-bolt out of my Rotogrip paddle holder. I inserted the screw down through the paddle holder, reattaching the one side of the thwart, and I put the rubber cap back on to the Rotogrip paddle holder. I have one here on the front thwart, as well as the rear thwart. Now, this is not the most secure way for the paddle to stay. I'll show you why. You can lock it down in the front one, and it is pretty secure, but as you can see, because of the armrest, it doesn't rest all the way down. But again, this was just another way for me to keep the paddle semi-secure, easily within reach. I don't have to worry about banging around or sliding up and down the cockpit or the sides of the gunnel, making all that noise. Two more items I added to the kayak was first and foremost my boomerang clippers. I have them attached right here on the seat line there. This way they're nice and close by when I need it. And in addition, my kayak cushion. I have a very skinny bum. After a while it starts to become numb. So while this seat is comfortable, as I said earlier, long periods of time in it, you may start to get a little discomfort in your rear. Adding the kayak cushion or any type of cushion to it really help add to your enjoyment of it. As I said in part one, I was looking for a boat that would check all the boxes and be able to do the things my Predator PDL could not do. And the Old Town Discovery 119 Solo Sportsman has far exceeded my expectations. I want to go over the great benefits of this boat, and then I want to touch on a couple things to keep in mind. First and foremost, at 11 feet 9 inches, it doesn't take up a lot of room, but for its shorter size, it really has great speed, in addition to be able to turn on a dime, as I mentioned earlier. At a 32.5-inch beam, this boat is very stable and doesn't feel tippy by any means when I'm paddling this boat. 354-pound max capacity, plenty of space to spare for me, as well as enough gear to give me a great day on the water. And at 56 pounds, loading and unloading this kayak is a breeze for me. And that's something to be said for someone as weak as me. Now, I want to touch on some things that you need to be aware of. These are not cons, but there is no boat for everyone. Number one, this is a hybrid, but it's more of a canoe hybrid than it is a kayak. So this boat will get water in it if some comes over the bow or you get caught out in a rainstorm. So you want to keep in mind that you're going to need some way to get that water out because there are no scuppers. Number two, I did mention how wide the beam is. I have been able to stand up in this boat, and I have some decent sea legs. However, getting back into the seating position takes some practice. The seat is much lower because this is more of a canoe than is a kayak, so that's something to keep in mind. And number three, at 11 feet 9 inches long and 2 thwarts, if you're someone, say, of 6 feet tall or taller, you want to make sure you visit your local Old Town dealer to see if they have one in stock for you to test paddle. You want to make sure you're comfortable in your boat. Other than that, I think this is a fantastic platform, and under $1,000, this is a great way to get on the water if you're looking for something smaller, lightweight, but still gives you the storage capacity to bring enough gear out for a great day on the water. I highly recommend you check out the Old Town Discovery 119 Solo Sportsman at your local dealer, and check us out on our website, which is listed below. I'm Bill Secorda, Florida Bass Paddler. I hope you found this video informative. If you have any comments or suggestions, I ask you please leave them in the comments below. I ask that you please subscribe and help a little guy like me out. Thanks for watching, everyone. Tight lines. I'll see you on your water, and make sure you have your PFD.